Check. Check. Let's see if we get this mic going. What's up? What's up? All right. I already see people here. Can you guys hear me? On Instagram. We got Instagram down here. We got YouTube up here. What up, Gavin? My nephew Gavin is up in here. Nice, nice, nice. All right. Hey, good to see everybody. It's been a while since we've done a little bit of a live broadcast. We've been doing a lot of traveling, a lot of kind of consulting gigs with professionals and that sort of stuff. So the schedule's been pretty wild. So my apologies for not posting as frequently. We're definitely going to have a lot more coming for sure. So couple kind of like little pieces of business to get to first before we jump into like question and answer stuff. Number one, if you haven't hit the bell on YouTube, so if you're watching this from YouTube, hit that bell icon, even if you're subscribed, because YouTube's kind of messing with our like deliverability a little bit. So hit that bell. That way you make sure that you get your videos, because we're also going to be doing way more uploading, right? So right now what we're doing is we've been doing kind of 1 to 2 videos a week, but we're actually going to ramp up production and move to probably 4 videos a week. So that'll be, you know, at least 1 live video like this, at least 2 kind of how-to videos, probably a vlog. So hopefully what we're going to do is we're going to give you enough content throughout the week that you can watch something every single day if you want to, or, you know, depending what day you're on, you can, you know, kind of jump in at that point. You know what I mean? So what I want you to do too is in the comment section, you know, if you're on Instagram Live, sorry, no real comments here, but I mean, you can, I'll go back and look at them. What I want you to do is let me know what sort of content you want to see, whether it's how-tos, you know, whether it's more breakdowns, NBA breakdowns, or if you want to just see more day in the life, travel, working with pros, working with college players, you know, that sort of stuff too. You know, because hopefully the idea is we're going to move to this kind of 4 video a week schedule. And then that way we've just got more content for everybody. That way everybody's getting better. Does that make sense? So really quick, out of the way, hit that bell. That way you make sure that you get all of your videos. So yeah, welcome to Coach C Live, where I'm just here to answer some questions, see what's up. Another little piece of information, if you're on Instagram for sure, my man Mike Dunn, who is at CMikeDunn on Instagram, is coming this Friday, and we're going to shoot a bunch of good videos. So YouTube content, you know, how-to videos, drills, all that sort of good stuff. Mike Dunn's one of the best shooters on the planet and one of the best guys at teaching shooting as well. So he's actually underneath the Shot Mechanics umbrella as our lead of shooting development. So you're going to start seeing a lot more of him, and he's a great dude. So what you can also do is in the comments, you can let me know what sort of videos you want to see Mike Dunn do. You know, whether it's, you know, how to extend your range, trick shots, whatever. We're going to kind of leave it up to you guys to what you want us to shoot with Mike Dunn. And then that way, as soon as he's here, we're just bang out that content and hopefully have a lot of good stuff for you guys. So if you want to see something specific from Mike Dunn, make sure you leave any of the comment section on YouTube or the comments here on Instagram Live, and that way we can check it out. All right, I'm going to check out some of these comments here real quick. All right, so Wakanda Forever on YouTube wants to know how to bounce a ball through your legs, please. Good question. So a little bit of a fundamental dribble. And, you know, it's one of the things that, like, I know a lot of players have a hard time dribbling between their legs, especially because they're not getting low enough. You know what I mean? And so I got a basketball with me for today, just in case I got to show you guys something. So what a lot of players do when they're getting ready to, you know, go between the legs is their hips are kind of high right here. And so if my hips are kind of high, and I go to between the legs, the space isn't very big. So what I like to tell players, anytime they're trying to do between the legs, try to drop your hips low if you can, and that automatically makes the space between your legs bigger, so the ball has a bigger space to pass through. So think about if you're trying to go between the legs, you know, whether you're changing direction, whether you're going into hesitation, whatever it is, try to drop your hips down a little bit lower than you have been. That's going to open that space up, and it's going to be a little bit easier to get the ball through, right? You know, after that, it's a lot about repetition and practice. And then once you get good at it, you're just going to be able to do it without even thinking. So good question. I like that. All right. Ooh, that one boy J30 on Instagram says, I want to see how to develop range from Mike Dunn. Good. I love it. Mike has insane range. That dude can shoot it out by half court without changing anything. So we will bring you some of that for sure. Oh, here's a good question. Here's a good question. Where to go? How to contest shots better. This was from YouTube. I lost the person's name, so my apologies. I can't give you a shout out. But How to contest shots better. So good question. So meaning when somebody's shooting, how can you get a hand in their face and contest a little bit better? Basically, there's one kind of secret that helps really, really well that a lot of people don't really even think about or don't really know, and that's called changing the shot line. So a lot of times when somebody's getting ready to shoot, they're going to have a shot line, meaning that the line that the ball comes up their body and into the shot. Now, everybody's a little bit different. Some people have a right shot line. Some people have one like way outside their body. And then some people like Lonzo Ball have a left shot line, all right, that comes up the left. So what you want to do as a defender is you want to figure out where that shot line's at, and you want to try to stick your hand or your contest hand in that shot line before they're getting ready to shoot. So if somebody knows I'm a right-handed, shooter and I have a right-handed shot line, which mine's actually a little bit to the left, but if you know your guy's got a right-handed shot line that's going to come up the right side right here, you want to always have your hand on defense in that shot line, even if it's down by their waist or whatever and they're doing this. Because if your hand's in that shot line, it's going to make it really hard for them to raise up into their jumper. And if they do, they're probably going to have to go outside of your hand one way or the other. So probably the easiest way to figure it out is, number one, find out, where their shot line's at. You can either do this by watching them warm up at the other end, or maybe you've played them a bunch of times. And then what you want to do is you want to stick your hand directly in that shot line and force them to go outside. If you get to the higher levels, college, NBA, professional, a lot of guys are able to still hit shots by going outside of their shot line. But for the most part, high school, junior high, elementary school, most players are not going to be able to hit near as many shots if they can't bring the ball up their normal shot line. So, that's one thing you can do. It's not really a contest necessarily, but it kind of helps for the same reasons. You know what I mean? Because they can't get up to their shot. And if they do, it's going to feel funky and out of whack. So good question. A little bit kind of different answer, but hopefully it still made sense. All right, so how to get more playing time from Romeo on Facebook over here. So, playing time is one of those things where there's so many variables that are going to change it. It might be, the other players on your team, what kind of position you play, what the other position players are on the team, how your coach likes your style, what kind of style he plays. So there's really a bunch of different variables. So it's really hard to say other than, number one, be as skilled as you can possibly be. But what I would say probably, outside of all that, the number one thing that you can control that can help your playing time is there's kind of two. There's attitude and effort. So I count that as one, attitude and effort. And number two, communication, right? A lot of players, especially younger players, are not good at communicating on the court. They don't talk on defense. They don't help set up the offense. They don't keep things, moving smoothly. And so what you can do is, if you can learn to be good at communicating on the floor, whether it's telling people to be in the right spots or setting up the press break or knowing when the other team's, getting ready to run whatever defense and you're ready for it and you can communicate to that to your teammates, that's going to make you valuable to be on the floor, regardless of how good you are skill-wise. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, the better your skills and the more playing time you're probably going to get. So that's one of the questions that I probably get the most, is that playing time question. But it's one of the most kind of difficult to answer as far as, specific individual case by case, just because everything's so different from, coaches to the other players on the team, to like your skill level, to your weeks, to your strengths. So I go with attitude and effort. If you got a good attitude and good effort, and if you're a good communicator on the court, it's going to be really hard for your coach to keep you off the court, even if you're not super skilled. So that's my answer for that one. Boom, 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 boom. Also, hey, quick shout out. It's a little 2-video day from Coach C for you guys. So I just uploaded a new video that Coach DJ did. So once we get off of this live call, or once we get off of this live broadcast, go over to the Shot Mechanics YouTube channel and check out Coach DJ's new video. It's about a shoulder fake, and it's kind of a way that you can beat a defender without even using a jab step. So it's really, really cool stuff. It's something that some like really elite level players use, and it's super simple. So basically you can like get by somebody without even putting a dribble down, which is pretty crazy. So if you haven't yet, when we jump off this live call, jump on over to that new video posted on the YouTube channel, because it's really, really good. Like, I love it. Like, ever since we shot the video with Coach DJ, something that I never really used before, but now when I'm playing one-on-one or whatever, I'll use it, and it's crazy. It's super effective. So you're definitely gonna want to check that out. Let's see here. When are you gonna improve? What? Somebody just gave me 99 cents? Let's go, Joshua Beal on YouTube. I think that might be my first money made from the live chat over there. You, my friend, are awesome. Thank you. That's great. Speaking of that, we try to produce as much great content as we can for you guys over here. You know, we have, you know, kind of premium training programs that people can buy if they're looking to kind of really take their training and their game to the next level. And I totally get that not everybody is, you know, 100% into that. That's totally fine. And you'll notice that on YouTube, actually, they just rolled out a new feature called sponsorship. I can't remember, one of the two. Basically, it'd be like, you know, you can pay $4.99 a month to your favorite creator. So like, let's just say you loved everything we do and you thought, man, I really want to support Coach C. You could give us $4.99 a month, and then we could give you perks, right? It's kind of like if you've seen anything for Patreon, which is kind of that app off of YouTube that, like, you know, creators can set up and give perks and that sort of stuff. And so I was looking at the YouTube sponsorship, and I thought it could be kind of cool, but there's a few kind of problems with it. So number one, I didn't like how it's $4.99. I feel like that's kind of expensive, you know, when you can get like all of Netflix for $7 a month. You know, and let's say you've got 4 or 5 creators you really like, you know, maybe you got 10 creators you really like all of a sudden it becomes really, really tough to sponsor somebody if it's $4.99 a month, right? I mean, in the comments, hit me up and let me know, do you think $4.99 a month is too expensive for like a single creator sponsorship? I think it is, you know, like, just from like a monetary standpoint, that seems like a big chunk to give to one person when maybe you watch, you know, 10 to 12 people online or whatever it is. You know, so let me know in the comments. I'm curious what people think. Yes, it's expensive. Good. Big fan. Yeah, I think it's too expensive. What do you thought? Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's the way I felt too. I think everybody feels it's expensive. So I'm guessing that what's going to happen is YouTube's going to launch this thing and it's going to kind of flop, because if you're trying to give $4.99 to like a bunch of your favorite creators, it's not going to work. It's just too expensive. Not to mention it's like you can only deliver so much value through the YouTube platform. They only have like a certain way that you can give like special perks and all that sort of stuff. So I'm kind of mulling over a way that we can do something really cool as a community, that'll be way cheaper than that, and then hopefully give you like even way more you know, benefits than what the YouTube sponsorship could do. Oh, Triple Play, I see what you got. Yeah, you read my mind. You're my mind, brother. So yeah, it's one of those things where like $4.99 feels a little steep. I feel like we could bring like a lot more value. Dude, Jason Reynolds, give me that $1.99. Thank you, my man. You are a gentleman, and I appreciate what you got going with us. Thank you. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Jason Reynolds is awesome. Yeah, so I was kind of thinking, you know, me and Jake, the guy who works for me and edits videos and Hoop Scoop TV and that sort of stuff, we were thinking about doing something really cool that would give people a lot more, you know, access and a lot better training and tools and that sort of stuff at a way cheaper price point. So we were thinking about doing like a special, you know, kind of members only thing for maybe $1 a month, maybe cheaper. I don't know. We'll kind of figure it out when the time comes. But we were thinking about having, you know, maybe call it the $1 Training Club or something like that, where we have, you know, maybe one premium workout a month that you can get with it. You know, access to a private Facebook group that I'll be in there. Coach Jake will be in there. You know, everybody else will be in there, so you guys can kind of answer each other's questions, help, you know, link up and train in the same area if you're around each other. You know, also kind of maybe like private live sessions as well, where you can jump on like this and we can get like a kind of a smaller list that I can really dial in and ask questions. Maybe even do it in a gym so I can like show you stuff at the basket. I feel like that would be pretty sweet. And then, you know, some of the other cool things, we can probably get you brand discounts at like East Bay and, you know, some of the brands that we work with, Hoop Culture, Power Hands, all that sort of stuff. Also probably early access to videos is something we probably try to throw in there, and, you know, extra discounts on like full training programs when we put them out. So our hope is, you know, and we're not 100% sure what we're going to do yet, just because the whole YouTube sponsorship thing's new. I just know that I'm not going to do something for $4.99 a month. That seems like something we don't want to end up doing. So for something more like $1 a month, and if we could like put some crazy value into it, where you're getting like an exclusive workout each month, getting that live access, all that sort of stuff, you know, that's probably closer to what we'll try to do, if that makes sense. Does that sound interesting to you guys at all? Like if you could pay like $1 a month, you know, and have like one like exclusive workout that nobody else gets, unless they're kind of in that training club, also kind of that private Facebook group, free live, what is this thing? Oh, somebody's Coach answer. Yes. Okay. That sounds great. People are digging it. All right. And I felt like $1 was way more reasonable. You know what I mean? And just from like the workouts we'll create alone, it's going to be worth like, 50 times that easy. Because literally like what we do is we make players better. Workouts are the key to getting better, but you got to have the right one. So we'll kind of give you that secret sauce in there. All right, I love it. That'd be cool. That's something, be on the lookout for it coming sooner rather than later. I think we'll probably do something like that. So keep an eye out. But make sure you hit that bell icon on YouTube, just because it is bizarre how bad YouTube is kind of like sending our videos out to the subscribers. So make sure you got that bell. That way you don't miss it when I do put it out, because I probably won't let everybody in. We'll probably have a specific cap on it. That way, like the private Facebook group doesn't get like out of control and that sort of stuff. So keep that in mind. All right. Back to answering some questions here, because you guys are awesome. All right, so somebody says, what helps you calm down before a game? Matt Yasores on YouTube. Good question. If nerves are something that get to you a little bit, number one, what you can do is you can kind of do some breathing exercises, visualization, almost kind of meditation type stuff. So I'm not really an expert in that space, so I can't, I feel like I fully can't give you an exact answer when it comes to that. But what I would probably do is I would try to do some, Google searches to like sports meditation, sports breathing exercises. And what that'll help do is calm you down a little bit and probably recenter you. So if you're having, issues like that and you feel, like you're maybe too much anxiety, or, it feels like way more than butterflies in your stomach, then I would definitely check out some of that sort of stuff. Visualization, breathing exercises. Those are all really, really good. Let's see. I'm going to go to Instagram. It's been a while since I jumped on here. Let's see here. Well, I'm looking for a good question to answer. Who y'all got in this Golden State Houston series? Who do you think's winning this one? It's going to be a bit of a shootout, I have a feeling. Looking for a good one on Instagram here right now. Okay, so James EM says, why do I find it hard to get my hand under the ball when I have a staggered stance? Good question, James. So, having your hand underneath the ball to start as you're bringing your shot up is a little bit overrated to me, I think. Now, depending on how your feet are, if they're staggered, meaning just one's closer to the hoop than the other, the reason why it's going to be hard is because the way your upper body's built, your muscles are going to be really tense as your arm comes up if your toes are pointing straight towards the basket. So even if they're staggered, one's closer to the hoop than the other, if your toes are pointing straight forward on both feet, that's still going to have a lot of shoulder tension, which makes it really hard to slide your hand up under the ball because your elbow pops out that direction, right? So instead of just being staggered, what I recommend for most players, especially if they're having a hard time getting their hand underneath the ball, is try to tilt your feet off to the side, just slightly. So if I'm a right-handed shooter, I'm going to tilt my feet to the left. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow your elbow to come underneath, and it's going to allow these shoulder muscles to relax so I can get the straight line on my shot coming up right there. A lot of coaches say that you just need to stagger your feet when you shoot, and that relieves some of the tension, but it doesn't relieve all of the tension, right? Most of the time we want to stagger and then tilt. And then if you can do that, that's going to unlock those shoulder muscles, probably help your hand get under the ball a little bit better. But, the hardest thing about shooting instruction is that everything's so different, right? I kind of got in an argument with another trainer the other day where he was trying to say like there is one specific way to shoot and it's a perfect form and everybody has to get there. And while it's true that there's maybe a most optimized form that you can try to get there, everybody's different, right? We have different like finger lengths, different finger sizes, different arm lengths, arm sizes, torso sizes, power. There's just so many variables. Like if we looked head to toe, there's probably like 40 different variables that go into a jump shot. And so everybody's going to be a little bit different. And so it's going to be a huge game changer. You know what I mean? Depending on, the size of your hand. Some people have smaller hands. Some people have bigger hands. So that's probably going to change what's the best shot. And that's what drives me, hold on, mini rant moment here for a second. That's what drives me nuts about most shooting instruction out there. And what's insane is that I've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years, like really, really hard. And we're making some ground, but the problem is, like, there are still so many coaches that just assume there's one way to shoot the ball, and they try to teach everybody the exact same thing. And because of that, sometimes some players get it, sometimes other players don't. And then they just go like, well, not everybody can be a shooter. You're just born with it. Or, you know, hey, you just didn't practice hard enough, or you didn't do the right thing, or whatever. And that's absolutely bull to me. Like, it's unbelievable how many coaches put, you know, the lack of shooting success on the player rather than on themselves, right? You know, the way we coach shooting, every single person on planet Earth can be a great shooter, right? I can go to your mama right now and I can make her a better shooter in 10 minutes, because if we optimize and we use that trained eye to figure out what's causing her misses, it's really easy to get her to make more shots. I mean, it's as simple as that. And it's wild because it's like, it's just problem solving, right? It's nothing more than problem solving. But for some reason, coaches, and even at the highest level, I've talked to NBA coaches, I've talked to, you know, guys that have worked with like the best players on the planet, and they still don't get it. It's unbelievable. So sorry, jumping off my rant there. I got carried away. Oh man, cracking me up. One thing that I love though is you guys get it. Like since you've been watching our stuff, you guys start to get it. So like, I'm already seeing people answer each other's questions over here in the comments on YouTube. And I love it. You guys are phenomenal. And it's crazy once you like open your mind to the whole idea of shooting instruction, that like there's no perfect way to shoot a basketball. I mean, you start seeing it. Like, you guys are probably a lot like me now. If you're watching an NBA game and somebody will be at the free throw line and they'll miss, you know, maybe they're bad shooter, like, you know, DeAndre Jordan or something like that. And you're like, like he should probably tilt his feet a little bit, probably do this, right? You guys probably start figuring it out pretty quick. Let's see. Yeah. And Coleslaw on Instagram, love your channel, bro. You help so much. Thank you, my man. Much appreciated. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Trigger Trey on YouTube says, my shooting hand tilts to the side. I think that's because of my thumb flick. How do I fix that? I think he means when he's flicking that his shooting hand flexes out to the side over here. Trigger Trey, is that what you're talking about, homie? Whoa, $2 from SPS Frame Rate. Thank you, my man. Will ever be in Chicago? What do you think of Lori? Hopefully we'll do some clinics in Chicago. We're having a hard time getting the clinics off the ground. We had some issues with East Bay and their legal team trying to figure out like exactly how to do it. So clinics are coming. We're just trying to figure out, you know, cross the T's, dot the I's before we do it. But what I think of Laurie, I actually really like Laurie. I'm going to be 100% honest. I did not, I'm coming back to you, Trigger Trey. Hold on just a sec. I did not think Laurie was going to be very good when he first came in. I watched him at Summer League and he looked like hot garbage. And so I kind of wrote him off. But like after his rookie season, he seems really good. And I think he probably just had to get his feet underneath him a little bit. So I think he's probably going to be pretty solid. But hey, thanks for the support, my man. Love it. Okay, so Trigger Trey. Flick out to the side. Good question. So, you know, this can be caused from a few different things. You know, one thing to think about is where the elbow goes, generally the wrist will follow. So if you're coming up with your elbow out, generally that will cause a snap out. So that's the thing about shooting instruction is it's also like interconnected. You know, it's not ever just like, oh, just finish straight. Like a lot of coaches will be like, just finish to the hoop, ball, or like hand to the cookie jar, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is if your elbow's doing something to make your wrist do that, you can't just fix your wrist. You got to fix your elbow. But maybe the elbow's doing that because of something in your feet. So then you got to fix your feet to get it all down. So I would say it kind of depends. The two main things I would check first. Number one, see if that elbow's flaring. If your elbow's flaring, that probably means that you got to tilt your feet a little bit more because you got some sort of shoulder tension up here that's pushing it out. The second thing you can try to do, I guess I'll give you three options. The second thing you can try to do is try to push the ball out further from your body as you're shooting. So a lot of times players will go to shoot, they'll try to generate power, and they'll roll it up by their chest right here, so they only have about like a little tiny space. And what that does is by rolling it, it shoves your elbow out, and so it starts that elbow out this direction. So when you finish, your finish is off to the side. All right. So one thing you do is you can push the ball out, and so if I can get more space between my body and the basketball right here, what that's going to do is it's going to push the ball up so then I can snap it off and my elbow is going to stay underneath. So that's option number two, right? We can try to get a little body space from the basketball, you know, by getting that elbow in. So that's an option. You can tilt your feet to try that out. The other thing you could try is hand position. So a lot of times what happens is when players try to shove their hand back behind the ball, kind of back here, and they go to shoot, if they try to shoot and their hand's shoved behind, a lot of times that pushes this joint right here, and it's going to start to slide off of this ring finger. So they try to overcorrect by snapping their wrist back out the opposite direction. So it's possible that maybe your hand's jammed behind the ball, and that's causing a chain reaction to your jump shot. So you can try rotating your hand to the top of the ball, like this as you're getting ready to shoot, and that might let it drop down in a little straighter. Or you can try shifting your hand a little bit off to the side of the ball, so as you come up, then you can snap through nice and smooth and keep it a little straighter. So a few options for you just to see if they work. They might or might not. Again, it's kind of trial and error. You got to try a little bit, see how it goes, and then try something different. Joshua Bell wants to know, did you ever run track? I did run track. I was actually a really, really, really good distance runner, not to toot my own horn. But in fact, I was probably a better distance runner than I was a basketball player. But unfortunately, running sucks, and I like playing basketball. So I decided to do basketball as a career rather than track. But I did. I used to run quite a bit. I was an 800-meter runner. I was a mile runner, and ran a lot of like cross country as well. For sure. Let's see here. I run track and I love basketball. I love it. I mean, track's great, especially to stay in shape. And a lot of times you can get a scholarship really easily from track. One of my guys here in Boise that I used to work with, he ended up getting cut from the basketball team because of some like stupid political issues and that sort of stuff. Like we all know happens from time to time. And so he ended up joining track, and he just made it to the state tournament in high jump. So he'd never done track before, but because of this whole thing with basketball went down, he's like, I'll try track. I'll practice it before the season, blah, blah, blah. And so now he's getting to go to state. And because of that, he actually just got a track scholarship as well. So it's cool. Like there's definitely cool stuff to do track and other sports as well. FPS frame rate. What is the most shots you've made in a row? Good question. So just like catch and shoot threes, I bet my record's probably like 30, somewhere around there, like back when I was in my prime and like really working on my game. I don't really hold a whole lot of stock in just catch and shoot shots. There's a lot of people that really like feel like the more catch and shoot shots you can hit, like in a row or out of 10, the better you are. And I find that to just not be the case whatsoever. Like if you can knock down a catch and shoot shot, like that's great, but your ceiling is so limited. What I'm more worried about is, can you hit 50% of shots that you create? Step backs, pull backs, side steps, lateral steps, up fake, relocates. Those are more important because like I've seen a million players that can knock down a shot all day long, right? When they're in the gym just by themselves, just like shooting fish in a bucket. But then they get in a game and maybe they get one shot a game. Maybe they get 2 shots a game. And they kind of get stuck in this fool's gold of, you have to make shots when you practice. Like if I'm in a workout, personally, if I'm shooting, if I shoot over 60%, generally I feel like I didn't go hard enough in the workout or I didn't do hard enough stuff. I mean, sure, I'll get some catch and shoot reps up there, from time to time. But if you can't, if you're shooting over 70% and you're not like an NBA player in your workout, to me, I think you're wasting your time because you're only going to get so many catch and shoot shots in a game. And that's a huge mistake that a lot of players make, especially when they're younger. They get really focused on making shots in practice. And so they shoot to make the shots in practice instead of shoot to practice the shots that they actually get in game. So again, it doesn't matter if you shoot 90% in practice, if you shoot 20% in a game. I'd rather have you shoot 60% in practice and 45% in game. You know what I mean? Which is a lot different than a lot of coaches will tell you, but that's just what I think. And, who knows? All right. Oh, good question. Junior Carrillo says, I'm right-hand dominant and left eye dominant. Do you have any tips for drills, please? I love when I see questions like this because it automatically means that you've watched some videos in the past. So kudos to you for number one, for watching, supporting what we do. Number two, good question. It's something that not very many people talk about. So basically he means he's a right-handed shooter, but his left eye is the dominant one. Most right-handed shooters are right-eye dominant. So as they bring the ball up their shot line, boom, right here, they can snap it off all in a straight line and they get that perfect alignment. But if you're a left-eye dominant, what I recommend is I recommend trying to bring the ball up more the center of your face. So instead of over on the right side, you're going to bring it up more on the center. So you're on your left eye and then snap it off towards the hoop. It's a little bit funky, but by moving it over just like an inch or two, a lot of times you can straighten it out and get more accuracy just from that alone. So Junior, good question. Try bringing it over just slightly to the middle of the face and hopefully that helps you out. Well, I see people, lots of love from Switzerland. What up? I got to visit Switzerland one of these days. Da-da-da. What's up? I see French. Says, what's up from France? I have a problem. My shot is bad. Well, my man, you are in the right place. because that's what we do. We help people hit jumpers. In fact, Jake is over here editing up a workout with Trayvon Duval. We should have that up probably this week. We actually did it like a long time ago back, kind of right when his season was starting. We got a little work in. So it's kind of a delay on the release, but you guys get to check that out. Ireland, what's up? Ireland, hey, I just watched that. I was on a flight and I watched that documentary about Conor McGregor called Notorious. Got me all sorts of hyped. For like a quick second, I was like, maybe I should do MMA. And then I was like, nah, that's a bad idea. I remember that I don't like getting punched in the face. All right, how do you shoot with a 90-degree angle? Makeem Sium says. I honestly, I think the 90-degree angle is a bit overrated, right? People talk a lot about it as you're getting ready to shoot. You want to get this perfect 90-degree angle. I think that changes depending on your age, depending on your size, depending on the length of your arms. If you look at a guy like Damian Lillard, right? He's one of the best shooters in the NBA, and he actually has a really tight angle right here in his arm. So I'm not really, I don't really, I think it's one of those things that a lot of people make it to be a super big deal, and it's actually not. So honestly, if I was you, I wouldn't even worry about it. You guys are awesome. Oh, also, quick note, if you're interested, and that means you've been here on this live broadcast for a long time, unless you're just jumping in. I got a note from the guys over at Hoop Deals, which if you haven't checked them out, they're a cool website where you can get like direct from manufacturer, like cheap pricing on hoop basketball stuff. And they brought back their shooting sleeves here. So right now they'll give you free shooting sleeve if you pay for the shipping. So basically you just got to cover shipping and handling, and they'll send you one of these shooting sleeves for free. And they're actually pretty dope. So I've got the link, I believe, in the description of this video on YouTube and in Instagram. I think, Jake, did we update? Yeah, we did. We did update that link in the bio of Instagram. So if you want a free shooting sleeve that looks like this, bam, you can flex on them. Feel free to hit the link in the description if you're on YouTube, or the link in the bio if you're on Instagram. I don't know how many they have. They might be running low on stock. But the cool thing is you can choose your color. So I chose yellow for the Shot Mechanics. You're probably going to see this in a video here shortly. So if you want to get a free shooting sleeve, you just got to pay for shipping. Check out link in bio or link in description if you're on YouTube. Because they're pretty dope. Like seriously, it's crazy. Like, you know, places like Nike and like some of these other companies will be charging like crazy prices for these shooting sleeves. And literally like this one, if you just pay for shipping, it's like the exact same quality. And I love it because it's actually got this like anti-slip grip up here on the bicep. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that in there, that kind of shiny stuff. So it actually stays up better than most shooting sleeves that I've tried in the past. So it's pretty sick. If you're interested, get one for free, just cover shipping. My good dudes over at Hoop Deals. You know, if you support them, they support us. It's all love. What else you got? Making a video today. Yep. Somebody just said you're making a video today. I just uploaded a brand new video right before I went live. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely. What does the shooting sleeve do? Oh, somebody wants to know, what does a shooting sleeve do? So shooting sleeve is, you know, kind of can do a few things. Number one, it keeps your arm a little bit kind of warmer, right? You know, I don't think you like really need one per se, but a lot of people think they look cool. I kind of like the feel of the compression, especially kind of on my elbow as I'm snapping off on the release. I know a lot of guys wear them on their off arm, but I actually like to wear it on my shooting arm. So, you know, compression keeps your arm warmer. It, you know, can protect. So a lot of them, these ones don't have them, but you can get ones like, I think on Hoop Deals, they have ones that have pads on the elbow. You know, so like if you fall or hit your elbow or something like that, that can help. So it's basically more of like a comfort thing if you like it. A lot of times if you're getting scratched or slapped a lot in games, they're really, really nice. So that's a good one too. All right. Simum says, I hear you're good friends with DC Heat. I actually play basketball with him at my basketball court. Yeah, I know DC Heat. He's one of my dudes. You know, he's significantly younger than I am, but he's kind of an up and coming YouTuber who actually has a bigger audience than I do. But yeah, he's a good dude. I like DC. Nice. You guys got to work out. Sup from Canada? I see you. the Ballery Singh sign. Sorry, I'm so hard. It's so hard to pronounce usernames. My apologies if I butcher it. I'm better. So Teddy on Instagram says I'm better at defense, but I'm not good at shooting. Well, then you, my friend, are in the right place. Ooh. Wonder Fam Dime says, can you do a video on Marcus Lovett and his move? Dude, I love Marcus Lovett's game. That dude's got some serious sauce. Good question. College footage can be kind of tough, so hopefully we can get some pro footage. What do I do to get more rotation on the ball? Please answer. I've been watching since the live video started. What's up, James? Okay, so question to get more rotation on the ball. Number one, try to lock your wrist early rather than late, meaning as you're getting ready to shoot, try to lock this wrist up early, and then that way when you get ready to shoot, you can snap it off, get a little bit better rotation. What a lot of players do is they keep a really flat wrist as they're getting ready to shoot, and then they come up and they kind of get it barely locked and then snap on their follow through. So again, the more lock we can get, generally the better snap you're going to get. That's going to give you a little bit better rotation. So think about trying to lock it earlier. That way you can get better snap on it, and that can help quite a bit. The other thing that can help is see which dominant finger you are. If you're an index finger, a middle finger, which I'm not going to flip you off, or a split finger release. If you can figure out which one that is, sometimes people have a good release, but it's just that their dominant finger is a little bit off center. So if I'm an index finger shooter, my index finger should be in the center and be the last one to snap the ball down. But what happens a lot of times is maybe somebody's an index finger shooter, but their hand's off to the side. So they don't get as good of a snap coming off of it because it's not straight down. It's more kind of off to the side. So one thing you do is check out our video, get the perfect release. I've got a couple different ones, I think, where I talk fully into the release finger. So I would definitely check that out because a lot of times just those two tricks alone are going to give you a lot more rotation. You know, other than that, you can work on catching and rotating the ball to the seams. So you're getting your fingers right in the seam when you're getting ready to shoot. That's a little bit more something that's advanced. Something that I just do naturally, but you know, that's something that you can work on if you really, really want to get more rotation. But rotation's a little bit one of those things that's overrated as well. Sorry, I got a little head cold going. Congrats from Argentina. I love it. My south of the border. What else you guys got? What's the best way to work on finishing left or something offhand? So basically, if I'm having somebody work, you know, on their offhand finishing, most of the time I try to even it out. Anytime we're working on right hand finishing, we'll do the exact same thing working left hand finishing. So, you know, if you want to get more reps working on your left, you can. But mostly I just train offhand finishing by just training it the exact same as the right hand finishing, right? So whatever you do, it's kind of like weightlifting, right? If you're lifting weights, whatever you do on one side, like let's say I'm doing bicep curls on one side, which you can totally tell I have not been doing. But if you're doing bicep curls on one side, you don't just like do your right arm, like, like I'm good, that's fine. Then you want to go back and do your left arm too, right? So it's kind of the same sort of thing. If you're working on your finishing, you're finishing maybe scoop shots with your right, then you want to go and finish and work on scoop shots on your left. You know, sometimes if you're really trying to even them out, then you can give extra reps to that left. So maybe you do 10 finishes with your right. You could do 15 finishes with your left if you wanted extra time to work on it. But good question. I like that. Austin11806 says, do you know Henry Barrera? I do know Henry Barrera. Henry is my guy, head strength and conditioning coach at Liberty University over in Virginia. I first met Henry back when I was a sophomore in high school, junior in high school. I tore a back muscle and I needed to get faster again. I lost all my speed. And I went to Henry because he was like one of the best speed and strength guys in the Northwest. He was in Oregon at the time. So met up with him there, just stayed friends. So actually I was just at Henry. I stayed at Henry's house like 2 weeks ago when I was over in North Carolina when we visited. So we hung out with Henry and his family for a little bit. So how do you know Henry? Henry's a good dude. Oh yeah, you're on my practice. What up, Austin? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so while I was at Henry's, I worked out his son's practice and we did a little shooting information. So Austin 11806. Good to see you again, brother. What else you cats got going here? I'm from India. Dude, it blows my mind that what started as just like me making like internet videos is now I've got people in India, Switzerland, Ireland, Australia. Like you guys are awesome. And from India, Sanjeev Kumar wants to know, who is your favorite player? Ooh, good question. So because I'm a shooting guy, I find myself like really liking watching shooting guys better. You know what I mean? Like I can appreciate athletes and all that sort of stuff. But like Klay Thompson's one of my favorites. We went to the same college. Stephen Curry, it's almost impossible not to like him and be a shooting coach. Like if you're a shooting coach, you don't like Stephen Curry, like I don't know what's wrong with you. So I'd say those two guys are probably my favorite. I was a big Reggie Miller fan back in the day when I was growing up, which is probably before some of y'all's times. But man, I love me some Reggie Miller. That's for sure. No problem, James. What up, Dev Still? Good to see you, cats. Question, I practice my jump shot on my driveway, which is tilted and angled downward. Will this affect the shot on the court? Good question. So this is from Elliot Hobbs on YouTube. He basically says he practices a jump shot in his driveway, but it's tilted and what else? And angled downwards. So, Elliot, I would say that it's better than nothing. It's definitely better than nothing, right? A lot of players be like, wow, I don't have like a perfect hoop to shoot on. I shouldn't shoot at all. It's definitely better than nothing. But with that being said, you know, shooting's a lot about muscle memory. And so to build muscle memory faster, we want to try to have the elements the exact same every time, because most of the games you're going to play are going to be on 10-foot hoops with flat ground. That's probably what you want to try to get your reps on. So I'm not going to say it's bad, because it's definitely better than nothing. You definitely want to be like, well, my driveway's tilted, so I'm not going to shoot at all. I think it's better than nothing, but not as optimal probably for muscle memory building as a flat court. So with that being said, definitely still get your reps in, but just know that it's probably not going to be as powerful as if you have like a flat surface with a 10-foot hoop. Spencer FFA says, I had basketball tryouts today for varsity, and I did so bad. Well, sometimes you'll surprise yourself. You might come back and have a better tryout than you thought. Rockets and Warriors, who do you think are going to win? From Brunkhorst. I think Rockets are going to win game 1, but I think the Warriors are going to win the series. That's my prediction. And then we're going to be talking about, James Harden and Chris Paul. Are they choke? Can they make it to the finals? All that sort of stuff. We'll hit that for, the entire offseason on ESPN. Connor, what's up, brother? What's up, Connor? I see you. Greetings from Germany. Just finished up camp with Coach Don from Tulsa. Nice. Do you know him? Have any tips on how to be better mentally during one-on-one situation? So I don't know Coach Don from Tulsa, but sounds like a good dude. Better mentality during a one-on-one situation. Good question. So the key to one-on-one, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, the key to one-on-one, and it kind of depends on the format, if it's one-on-one in an actual 5-on-5 game, or really if it's one-on-one like cutthroat, whatever. The key to one-on-one is to force players to take the shot that they're worst at, right? You don't want to give up layups. Rule number 1 in one-on-one is don't give up a layup, because a layup is the highest percentage shot, right? If somebody gets to the rack and they're shooting a layup, they're probably going to shoot a pretty high percentage. Rule number 2 is don't give open a wide open 3, right? One of the worst things you can do is check the ball in, or when a guy catches and back off him so that they can just go, oh, in rhythm 3, right? We all practice those. Everybody practices an in rhythm 3. So you don't want to give that. No layups, no wide open in rhythm 3s. From there, the keys that you want to do is, number 1, force them to shoot a tough separation mid-range game. So step back, pull back, sidestep, something in the mid-range, 15 to 17 feet, because that's a hard shot. Number 1, it's a hard shot. Number 2, it's only worth 2 points, right? So it's not as bad as a 3. Then from there, what I would try to force is some sort of step back or separation 3. So really, if I'm playing one-on-one against somebody, all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stop them, but I'm trying to go no layups, no open 3s. Other than that, if they hit a tough step back fadeaway in my face, like, what are you going to do? Like, good offense beats, awesome offense beats good defense every single time. So what I try to do is I try to make them do what they're worst at and try to get them to shoot the lowest percentage shot possible. Sometimes I'll see kids playing one-on-one and they just get like beat over and over and over again and give up layup after layup after layup. Like, you don't want to do that. It's much better to back off a guy and make him shoot 3s And just because from a percentage standpoint, open layups are way better than open threes. Unless they're a really, really, really good three-point shooter, then you probably don't want to do that. Little caveat there. Jacob Whitley, I saw you here comment a couple times. What are some good training tips or summer training tips? So summer training tips. Tip number one, work out in the morning if at all possible. You know, a lot of players are like, hey, I'm going to work out in the afternoon, and then they never end up getting around to it. Or they'll be like, nah, I'm going to go with my buddies, and then their buddies bail or flake. Try to work out early in the morning if at all possible. Number one, it's good because you get it out of the way, so you don't have to like worry about it the rest of the day. Number two, gym space or court time is way more available in the morning, right? We shoot our videos in the morning at every gym we go to because nobody likes to wake up early and go to the gym in the morning. So even if you're shooting and training at like 8 a.m., you're still going to have a pretty empty gym most of the time. Most people don't want to wake up that early. So what I would do if I was you, even if you don't want to wake up that early, I would wake up early-ish to train and then even take a nap later on in the day if you need to. Like I'd much rather take a nap instead of having to wait to train later on in the day. But that's just my thought. Other than that, you want consistency, right? A lot of players will go like really hard for like 3 days and then they'll take like a week and a half off. Then they'll go really hard for a few days and then they'll take like, 4 or 5 days off. Like really, we want consistency. You'll see a lot bigger gains if you're only training for like 20 minutes at a time and training every other day than you will if you're training for like an hour and a half, once or twice a week. The more you do, the better it'll be for you. Question. When is See My Gun going to start shot mechanic? What do you think about one eye shooting and how it works? Good question. The internal, external. So question, you must have jumped on the live just a little bit late. Mike Dunn is coming to my gym this Friday and Saturday to shoot videos. So I'm guessing we'll probably launch his first round of videos next week, if I had to guess. We have a couple videos that we're getting out this week. And then so from a posting schedule, we will have him probably next week. So yay for that. B, one-eyed shooting and how to do it. One-eyed shooting is basically just the idea to me that your shot line should come up your dominant eye. So if you're a right eye dominant, you should shoot coming off your right eye. If you're left eye dominant, you probably want to bring the ball up more at the center of your face and shoot off of it that direction. So that's kind of my thought. Basically, it's just your shot line, right? Or shot line up your dominant eye if it's the same as your shooting hand. If it's your opposite eye, then you want to bring it over to the center of your face just slightly, and that should help. Somebody says, answer or I will die. How do I limit the use of my guide hand on my shots? I use too much and it is limiting my playing time. So guide hand is an issue that you can fix a couple different ways. Number one, you can pinch something in between your guide hand while you're practicing. So like, see if I got like a little scrap piece of something here. All right, I got a nickel. I got a nickel here. So if you're shooting around or you're practicing or you're training, you can pinch something, whether it be a nickel or a quarter or a piece of lint or a piece of paper, whatever it is. You can pinch it like a karate chop on the side of your guide hand, which, by the way, look at this broken finger I had in 6th grade. Yikes, that looks terrible on camera. But you can pinch something right here. And so as I go to shoot, it basically makes it so I can't push with this guide hand thumb. Otherwise, I'm going to drop whatever it is I'm holding. So again, you can use like a scratch piece of paper, a folded up Post-it note, piece of lint. You can tear a tag out of your shirt, whatever it is. You just pinch it over here. And then as you shoot, it forces you to keep that thumb in, because if you don't, you drop the nickel out. And so it kind of keeps it going. You'll probably, fair word warning, if you have guide hand issues, you'll probably airball like the first 5 or 6 shots you take while trying that. So, keep that in mind. Keep doing it though, because you'll get the hang of it. Like, don't just do it twice and be like, oh, I can't shoot at all. Keep practicing with it because it will help, I promise. So that's number one. Number two, you can try changing your guide hand. What a lot of people don't realize is your guide hand fingers don't have to point straight up to the ceiling when they shoot. A lot of people just assume that when you shoot, you have to keep your fingers like perfectly straight up and down like this, go in this direction. But really, a lot of great shooters flex their guide hand forward and finish with their thumb to the ceiling like this, right? Not like this. We don't want to push it. But if we can flex with our thumb to the ceiling, that's going to stay guided. So one thing you can try is try snapping both your guide hand wrist and your shooting wrist at the same time. And so you're going to snap that forward instead of this way, because you're still getting that release, but now you're not pushing it with your thumb. So that's something you can try as well. Those are kind of my two main guide hand keys. Guide hand, I never shoot straight. Coach, I have Clay Thompson's guide hand, but I can never shoot straight. So I'm guessing if you have a good guide hand, but you can't shoot straight, it's probably a push with your arm this way or an extend with your arm out this way. If a guide hand's not covered, it's causing left to right misses, most of the time it's the shooting hand that's going to do it. Could also be your release finger. So kind of hard to tell without seeing it in person, but those are the ones that I would definitely check out. Need a drill to become a better sharpshooter. Got tons of drills, my man. Just check out the drill playlist we got on the YouTube channel. All right, so what time? Oh my gosh, we've been going for 50 minutes. I love these live calls. They go so fast. And hopefully we were able to answer some good questions for you. But a couple things before we go. Number one, if you want that free shooting sleeve, just cover shipping and handling from Hoop Deals. Link in the description on YouTube. Link in the bio on Instagram. They're probably going to sell out. They normally like restock and they sell out really, really quickly. So you definitely want to check those out if you want them for free. Just pay shipping. And then also keep an eye out for the Dollar Training Club. Again, I don't really like those $4.99 YouTube sponsorships that they've been talking about. But for $1, I feel like we can bring you some serious value. Exclusive workouts, live calls like this with me and just the people that are in it. You know, brand discounts, early access to training programs and videos, all that sort of good stuff. So I'm hoping we're going to launch that here soon. So if you want to be alerted when the Dollar Training Club is live and you want to join kind of, you know, the hardcore Splash Army members, definitely make sure you hit that bell icon on YouTube to make sure that you're alerted when it comes up. Because if you don't, you might not see it and you might not get it in time because we're only going to take us a limited number if I had to guess. What's up, what's up, what's up? Man, I'm going to go eat some dinner. Go get a couple training sessions in. Thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. Until next time, I'm Coach Colin. Splash on. And then now's the awkward time where I got to like shut it all down and figure out how to hit end. Ending Instagram. Share. You guys are awesome. All right. Ending YouTube. Peace. Thank you so much for everybody who supported in the super chat. You guys are awesome as well. All right. Take care.